I'm Colin Shant, CEO of Coppertree Solutions, and today I'm going to talk about how to secure your remote workers. One of the challenges that's been facing organizations in the last year and a half here in particular is how do you secure your remote workers' devices as they go home? In a more traditional working environment in the past where everybody was in the office, a lot of the energy around IT security was focused on the network. It was focused on how do we protect the devices that are here. And that has changed dramatically in the last year as more and more people are working from home. And now the focus is not on the corporate network, it's on how do we secure the endpoint that could be anywhere. Maybe it's at home, maybe it's traveling, maybe it's at a coffee shop. Wherever it is, it needs to be kept secure. There's some unique challenges with having the devices remote. Some of the challenges we're seeing in particular is, maybe there's kids that are using the devices, maybe there's other people that are logging into company devices. So how do you protect your organization and make sure that your data is safe? Also as much as you can accommodate the needs of the individuals that are using those devices. One of the risks that we're faced with when we take our devices outside of the corporate network is just, the security of the networks that we're connecting to. So if somebody takes their computer and maybe wants to escape the house for a little bit and they go down to Starbucks and they set up on the patio and they connect to the Starbucks Wi-Fi, what exactly are the risks to the organization? A lot of people don't really realize that when you're connected to those networks, if you don't have the proper precautions in place, somebody else that's also connected to the network can gain access to the information that's passing back and forth. There's a lot of tools that can be put in place, and there's a lot of technology solutions to solve that problem. But it is something that needs to be addressed, and it is something that is a risk to an organization. And you want to make sure that you're addressing that before your people are connecting to just any network. So how do we secure these devices that are now no longer on our local network? It really starts with a couple of fundamental things like having an acceptable use policy in place. Are people's children allowed to use their computers in the evening? Is that okay? Are they allowed to use their home devices to connect into the corporate network? And just setting some guidelines can go a long way to securing your infrastructure. But then there's also a lot of technology tools that can be used to secure the devices. Having good endpoint protection software is a really good start. There's a bunch of different monitoring tools as well. One of the ones we recommend is something that monitors the activities on the device. If there's something that looks strange or looks out of the ordinary, create an alert and somebody can jump on and see what's going on. But really, it starts with securing your information. So having encryption turned on and ultimately having some kind of secure access method when you are connecting back into the corporate network. You want to make sure that you're not connecting across an unencrypted network. And so there, you could use a VPN, or maybe there's a couple more modern technologies that are in use. One is called Secure Access Service Edge. The tool you use really depends on your organization and the needs you have and where your information lives, whether it's in your corporate data center or whether it's in the cloud. It starts with developing a strategy, understanding what you have, and then putting in a strategy to secure your particular infrastructure based on your needs. One of the things that Coppertree's developed to help our clients secure their devices, something that we call our security program. And it basically consists of a suite of tools that your organization can leverage. And some of them are specifically focused around the endpoint. As I mentioned earlier, it's the focus now as devices are increasingly mobile is less and less on the corporate network and more on the endpoint itself. So having a good endpoint protection software in place, there's different types of tools. There's kind of the traditional antivirus that's signature-based, that runs scans on your computer a couple times a day and looks for any files that are out of place. Then there's the next generation antivirus software that's more behavioral based. So it watches the computer, it watches what's happening. And if something acts differently than it's expecting, it'll lock it down and take it off of the network and disconnect it from and keep it essentially contained so that it can't impact anything else. There's a list of about 7 or 8 different tools that we use in our security program, and a lot of them are focused around the endpoint. But another one that I'd like to just highlight is around user training. When you think about IT security, you can have all the right tools in place and you can have all the right technology in place. But the weakest link ultimately is a user that maybe isn't familiar with what to look out for, or maybe isn't cautious. So we put a lot of time and energy into training our users. There's some video-based training that they go through to understand what the risks are and understand what to watch out for. And then we also do some tests on that security. So we'll send out some fake phishing emails to see who clicks on the links. And it's always interesting to see what the results of that are. We've met a lot of people that were pretty confident in their employees and in their IT security. And when you actually do the test and you get some results back to say, here's what happened, it can be quite enlightening and eye-opening to realize that maybe your users aren't quite as security conscious as you'd like to believe. So CopperTree, as we work with our clients, we have a program in place. We have a process that we use to manage IT security for our clients. Part of it is their security program, but part of it is also just general best practices. So as we do maintenance on our clients' infrastructure every month, we're aligning our clients with our best practices. If there's a security setting that we feel is beneficial, we will roll that out to our clients. And so every month as we do the maintenance, we're bringing you into alignment with our best practices and ultimately minimizing risk in your organization. I'm Colin Sean, CEO of CopperTree Solutions. Thanks for joining us today as we talk about how to secure your remote workers. Please visit our website at coppertreesolutions.ca to learn more.